Hi everyone, this is Allison from RunSignup and GiveSignup. I'm going to get started in 1 minute. If you could just type into the questions module on the GoToWebinar panel and let me know that you can hear me and see my screen, that would be great. Thank you, Elizabeth. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm Allison Bickle. I am the product manager, product lead for GiveSignup. Today, I'm actually going to be presenting on RunSignup's all-in-one platform for registration, donations, and fundraising. So we have a lot of topics to cover today. So first, I'm going to go through some common donation and fundraising setups that I see on our platform a lot. The next thing that I'm going to cover is how to add one or multiple charity partners to your race, run, walk, or ride. Third, we're going to go over some tips and tricks for how to grow donations on your platform. Next, we're going to cover some cool tools and features that you can use to incentivize and engage with your fundraisers. I'm also going to briefly cover Facebook fundraising today. I've done that a lot in the past, and I'm really happy to see more and more of you enabling that integration because it is really having the biggest impact to help our nonprofits raise more and save time. And the last part I'm going to go over briefly is going to be reporting and where you can look in your race dashboard to find reports on donations, on fundraisers, on Facebook fundraising, and your participants. So I'm really excited to be starting off 2020 with some big improvements that are going to help all of your donation and fundraising events. So the first big update is that we have a new UX design for donation and fundraising setup from your race dashboard. So if you've used RunSignup for a while, you know that the old pages used to have a lot of different checkboxes and settings all on one massive page. What we've done is we've taken all those settings and we've organized them into really clean and easy to use tiles. It makes it very, very simple for you to set up your event. So it makes it easier for new events that are onboarding onto RunSignup, and it also makes it easier for you to manage and update your settings. So what has changed with that setup? Donations and fundraising have now been split into their own tabs. So there's one tab where all of your donation settings are found, and there's one tab where all of your fundraising settings are found. We did this to make it more intuitive, so it makes it a lot simpler for you to find what you're looking for. And it just cleans up and makes everything a lot more easy to use and a lot more concise. What is the same about this? The functionality. We didn't deprecate any of the settings that you already had and love. So we kept all the functionality, we just cleaned it all up. The other thing that's really exciting is we have new fundraising pages on RunSignup. Fundraising pages have gotten a massive facelift over 2019, and it's kind of all come together at this point. So one of the main new features that we've added is the ability to have a fundraiser slideshow on your page. So fundraisers can upload one or multiple images that rotate automatically. And it's a really nice way for fundraisers to tell their stories. And the RunSignup page makes it very clean. These fundraising pages are mobile optimized, so this fundraiser slideshow will still work on a cell phone. We've also made it easier for fundraisers to upload their profile and their slideshow pictures. In the past, we saw some users struggling to, upload a nice looking image. We use this tool called Croppy. You can see it displayed here with the little cartoon Bob. But it makes it very easy for a fundraiser to drag and drop an image to upload and then center it on their face or, the part of the image that they want to show on their page. We've also added some nice little features like a new story heading that can be customized. We still have the fundraiser description or story. We have it very clear to show the fundraiser's Facebook fundraiser status if you have that integration enabled. We've really emphasized the social share options with simple buttons, so a fundraiser or their friends and family can easily share that profile to social media. We also have really clear donate calls to action on the page. And we have really clear displays of that individual's team and that individual's charity if charities are set up for that event. The thing that we have kept, because this has been so popular with fundraisers, is we've kept the manage options. So we make it really simple for fundraisers to control their page. We make it simple for them to go in and edit their page. They can join a team or change their team after they've registered. And we also keep that manage tool really easy for fundraisers to look at all of their donations so that they can easily thank their donors. The other big news of 2019 was our Facebook fundraiser integration. So the Facebook fundraiser integration with RunSignup allows you to enable the integration so that your fundraisers can create connected fundraisers on Facebook. So after your fundraisers finish registering for the race, so they have paid, they've had their page created for them, they will get a pop-up on the confirmation page asking if they want to create their fundraiser on Facebook. When they do so, it will automatically create a fundraiser on Facebook. The amounts on the RunSignup fundraising page and on the Facebook fundraising page stay in sync. This is really powerful because it's giving your fundraisers completely new networks to reach. And the best part is that donations on Facebook are free. I'll talk a bit more about this later and also demo it during this webinar. The other really cool thing that we've added, which is relevant to every race, not just donation and fundraising focused events, are free domains and subdomains. So instead of having your race website be runsignup.com/myracename, you can actually add your own subdomain. So if you have your own nonprofit website, you can add a subdomain for register.mynonprofit.org. I think this is really powerful because, number one, it's really simple to set up. The DNS verification process is easy, and our guides walk you through each step. The second part is that the Ssl certificate's included. I see a lot of nonprofits that don't have a secure website, and that's getting riskier and riskier. You need to make sure that your donors and supporters are making transactions on a secure website. It is also just like a good, branding image for you guys to have that you always have your users on a secure website. And we also offer this support for free. So if you already own a domain, it's completely free to add an additional subdomain for your website. The other thing that we've added are cover pages. So cover pages give you the option to add different images, different calls to action, different videos, different data-driven components. And one of my favorite data-driven components that we've added is the top fundraiser list. So this is an example of a small 5K for Paws in the Park to support an animal shelter. And on their website, on their cover page, they are featuring their top fundraisers and their top teams. We make it really easy for you to click into any fundraiser and go right to their page. Okay, so first we're going to start with the setup and customization for different fundraising types. Okay, so I broke this down into 3 different types of fundraising events that I see happening on our platform. So the first is where all participants are fundraisers. So every single person who is coming out to your event and signing up is also a fundraiser. The second type is where some, but not all participants are fundraisers. So I see this a lot with races that have a charity partner, and only the runners who are running for the charity partner have to become fundraisers, but the rest of the runners don't. And then the third is kind of the most hands-off option, where any participant has the option to create a fundraiser when they sign up, but it isn't required for anyone. So we are going to demo these different setups because it's easy for you to see that way. So I'm going to start with all participants become fundraisers. So this is my event. It is called Save the Whales Run. And I set up my events as normal. So for this fundraising event, I have a 5K run walk and I have a 1 mile walk. In the dashboard, I have already enabled donations and fundraising. So I'm going to come into my individual fundraising settings just to show you how I have this set up. here is my general settings for individual fundraisers. Here I have it required that every single participant must become a fundraiser. So it is required for every event, and everyone who signs up has to have a fundraising page. So I'm going to demo this really quickly so you can see what this looks like from the user's perspective. So I'm going to sign up for the 5K. Here's my waiver. I'm just collecting t-shirts for this event. And then I get to the donate fundraiser page, and I'm forced to create a fundraiser. I have some settings in here that make the fundraising setup really easy. So you may have noticed that I had a default goal when I had set my settings up. So it automatically populates my goal to $100. Here I'm able to update my fundraiser name, but it automatically pulls in the name that I registered with. And I have these options to create my custom fundraiser URL, add my own image, and add my own story. Again, I had default text in here that pre-populates this, but I'm able to come in here and, add my own text, like help me. Additionally, I have teams enabled for this event. So I'm able to join an existing team. I had some of my coworkers sign up earlier today, so I have some teams that are already here. Or I can create my own team, and I can start my own team. Again, I have a default team goal set here, and I have default team messaging. This page also allows me to make a donation. So this is self-donation. It's going to be counted towards my own individual fundraising page. So this is one option for setting up an event where every single participant is required to become a fundraiser. The other setting I wanted to show you with this is a setting that some of our events use, and it's called if a registrant selects an event that requires a fundraiser. Fundraisers are required for both of these events. We hide the setup form and automatically create their individual fundraiser. So I'm going to save that setting. And I'm going to refresh this page. So I'm still registering for this event, but what's happening now is that my individual fundraising page is automatically getting created for me. So those settings that were automatically applied to my page are going to be applied now. And the only option that I have here is I can either join or create a team. And I can also make a donation. So this can also be useful for some events if they want to kind of speed up the registration process. I think the benefit of showing that fundraising page setup in the registration path is that your participants are a little bit more actively engaged, and they put a little bit more effort into that initial setup and customization of what their fundraising page is going to look like. On the other hand, this setup also has benefits, because it just makes the whole process of signing up a lot quicker. So I think it's really up to your event and kind of understanding what your participants want, what they're used to, what they would like, but both are good options. And again, you can use either. Okay, so before going through this whole setup, I'm going to go through the other types of events. So the second type of event I talked about is where some participants are required to fundraise, but others are not. So this event is called Cycle the Forest. It's a bike riding event. And I have a 25-mile ride, a 50-mile ride, and a 100-mile ride. And people who participate in these events, I don't want them to fundraise, but I want the option for people to fundraise. So I've created additional events that are focused on fundraising. So I've called this event Cyclist for the Forest. The events actually match my regular events because I want people to be able to choose upfront when they sign up, I'm going to fundraise or I just want to participate. So I've created a Cyclist for the Forest event for each distance that I'm offering for the 25, the 50, and the 100-mile ride. So I have all these set up as 6 different events. Next, I come into my dashboard after I finish going through the race wizard, and there's a couple of steps I'm going to take to clean up my setup. The first is I'm going to go into event grouping. So I'm just using that menu search because we have a lot of functionality in our dashboard, and this is just a really simple way to pull up what you're looking for. So I come into simple event grouping, and I've created an event group name called Cyclist for the Forest. And this applies to these 3 events that are my fundraising events here. So what this looks like on the front end is this. So I have my 25-mile option, my 50-mile option, my 100-mile option, and then I have my Cyclist for the Forest fundraising events. So I can come into here and I'm able to choose which option I want to do. The next thing I've done is I've added a highlight banner to my grouping option that I created, and it's called Ride and Fundraise. And this appears as an event highlight, and on the front end, it looks like this. And I really like adding these to some or even all of my events because it can really emphasize a call to action, and I think it looks pretty nice on the layout when you're selecting your events. So the next part is enabling fundraising for the Cyclist for the Forest events. So I come into individual fundraisers to turn on fundraising, and I go into my general settings. My first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to disable fundraising for my non-fundraising events. So for the 25-mile ride, the 50-mile ride, and 100-mile ride, those participants are not going to create a fundraising page. However, my Cyclists for the Forest are all going to be creating fundraising pages. And I come down here and you'll see here I've required that every single participant who signs up for one of these events has to become a fundraiser. And I've also set a required goal for them. So what this looks like on the front end is if I become a Cyclist for the Forest, I'm going to do the 25-mile ride. I will be asked to create my fundraising page. And so I will have to do this to register for this event. And yeah, it's kind of the same as what we just saw. But if I go back and I choose one of these non-fundraising events, so I'm going to choose the 50-mile ride, then I'm not going to be asked to create a fundraising page, but I can still make a donation. And so this is a really nice balance if you have an event that a lot of people just want to come to because it's a cool event and they just want to participate in it and they don't really care about the cause. But it does allow you to really feature that fundraising option. So an example of an event that has this sort of setup is the Philadelphia Marathon. They partner with the American Association for Cancer Research, and their events are set up so that you can run the Philly Marathon or the half marathon or the 8K, or you can choose to be a runner for research, and you can compete in any of those events, but you're also required to fundraise when you're a runner for research. So it's kind of a creative way to emphasize fundraising for some of your participants, but not for everyone. The third option I wanted to show is just kind of a more hands-off and casual approach to fundraising. So it's just if you have a regular race event and you want to offer fundraising, but you don't want to focus on it like we have in the previous 2 examples, you can give your participants the option to become a fundraiser, but kind of de-emphasize it. So this is just a simple 5K. I just have one event in this sample. So if we come back here, I'm going to go into fundraising, and I'm going to go into my general settings. And here I have a default individual fundraising goal. I have fundraising enabled so people can become fundraisers, but you'll see here I don't have any requirements around fundraising. When I go to sign up for this event, I'm just signing up for the 5K. The only thing that's really emphasized here is the option to make a donation. Becoming a fundraiser is here, and I can create my fundraising page. And depending on the settings you allow, you can also have somebody create a fundraising page after they've signed up. But this is really good if your event is really just focused on the run and those types of aspects. And fundraising is just a little part of it, but you still want to give your participants the option to do so. The other thing that you'll see here is I had the option to become a fundraiser. So if I decide, oh, I don't actually want to do all this, I can click cancel, it disappears, and I can just continue on with just my simple donation. Okay, so I'm going to come back to here, and I'm going to do a quick review. Just so you know, I'm going to be posting all of these slides as well as a recording of this webinar. So if you want to go through and understand any of this better, you will have all this content. So the first part is all participants are required to be fundraisers. So the first thing that you want to set up is require that everyone becomes a fundraiser. And then you'll want to make that decision of whether you want to show or hide the fundraiser setup form in the registration path. If you have some, but not all participants who are fundraisers, you're going to want to create general and fundraising events. The note that I put here is if you do this, make sure that you talk to your timer, because if you have a timed event, your timer is going to need to understand how you've set up your event. So they're going to need to know if they're timing the 50-mile ride, they need to know that both the 50-mile ride participants and the cyclists for the forest 50-mile ride participants are in the same event. Our platform makes it really easy for timers to do that, but I just want to make sure that you communicate with them to make that very clear. The next step that you're going to do is you're going to organize with simple event grouping. Just so you know, if you're looking at these slides now or looking at them later, this is just the little path that you follow on the left-hand menu. You can type the word event grouping, it'll pop up, but this is also the order of the tabs that you would click on to find what you're looking for. So this is how I would set up event grouping, and this is what it would look like. Adding an event highlight, again, optional, but I just prefer to add the highlight. And then I go into fundraising. I disable fundraising for the events that aren't fundraising focused, and I require it for the ones that are. And then the last option, anyone can create a fundraiser, but it's not required. I just turn on individual fundraising. I can add any settings that I want, but it's not required. And it's just that simple become a fundraiser button in the reg path. The other thing I wanted to just quickly highlight in this setup discussion is the difference between fundraising goals. And so this is something that you set up in that individual fundraisers general settings tab. The first option is a default goal. So a default goal is just suggested. It auto-populates that fundraising setup page, and fundraisers are able to increase or decrease their personal fundraising goal. So if the individual default goal is set to 100 and I want to update that to 200, I can do that. I can also update it to $50. The next option is a fundraising minimum fee not waived. So this means that I am required to raise at least $150 for this 5K example. I can increase that amount, so I can fundraise $200, but I cannot fundraise $50. It will not let me lower it below $150. This fee not waived means that I still pay my registration price up front, and then I'm also required to fundraise this amount. On this page, there's also a column setting for fundraising minimum fee waived. So this is where the fundraiser agrees to a certain minimum and they don't pay anything for registration. The reason I have this highlighted in red instead of green is that I don't care for this setup. Basically, the way that I see it is it's kind of like the carrot versus the stick. And when you have a fundraising minimum fee not waived, you're encouraging your participants to get to a certain goal. And you can use really cool tools in our system that we're going to cover shortly to reward people for getting that goal. For example, we have automated registration refund rewards. So if somebody hits a certain fundraising goal, I can reward them by automatically giving them a refund for that registration fee that they paid. The other one where you waive the fee up front, and then if they don't meet the goal, you end up charging them. I think it's a bit of like a punishment relationship. And so I see having a default goal, suggested goal, or having a fundraising minimum fee not waived as the best setups. Okay, I also wanted to talk about charity partners. So what are charity partners? You can add one or multiple charity partners to any race. So we have some races on our platform, like the Crescent City Classic 10K, that have about 25 different charities that they support. And participants can choose to donate to any one of those 25 charities. And participants can also choose to fundraise for any one of those 25 charities. When you add charity partners, you're able to invite them to set up their own payment account. And this will allow them to receive donations made to their charity partner directly. This is really nice because it eliminates that manual step of you having to pull reports, write checks, make sure that all the money is distributed to all of your different charity partners that your race works with. It just really simplifies and automates things. When you invite a charity partner to set up their payment account, they're also going to get a charity partner dashboard. And I'll show you this shortly. But the dashboard is going to let your charity partners view their own reports for donations, for fundraisers, and for payments, which really empowers them. They don't have to ask you to pull a list of people who donated to them so that they can write their thank you notes. The charity partner dashboard also allows your charity partners to control the messaging that appears for their charity partner on your website, and it allows them to customize their donation receipts. So they can add their, their tax ID, their address to make sure that that donation confirmation email is a tax deductible receipt. So if you want to add charity partners, you're going to go to your dashboard, click the donations tab, and then charity partner, and you'll see this guy who will help you set up your first charity partner. And I'm going to demo this. I'm going to go into my Good Neighbor Day 5K and click Charity Partners. So I've already gone in and I've added one charity partner. It's the Rotary Club, but we can kind of go through adding a second charity partner. So I'm going to call this Save the Cats because I like cats. And I'm not going to add a description here because I am going to invite Bob to claim this charity because he is the head of this nonprofit. So what happens when I add his name here is that when I click Add Charity Partner, he's going to get an invitation sent by email, and it's going to give him a link to go in and claim his charity partner dashboard. And that's where he's going to be able to set up payment to get any donation that is made to Save the Cats for my race. So you'll see here that I can kind of track which charity partners have and haven't set up their own payment accounts with this little thing, and it's very simple for me to resend the payment instructions. Just to show you how this looks, the charity partners show as different charity options, and I can click on them and it goes into the charities page. Each charity has their own fundraising goal, has their own description, makes it easy for me to donate to that charity $50, and that would go right to the Rotary Club. Here you're able to customize the charity partner settings. I'm not going to go through all this right now just because it's a bit granular. The one thing I am going to point out is this option to add a donation to the checkout. So when I do this, I can show a checkbox on the registration checkout page that says, do you want to add $5 to your cart? If I have more than one charity, I'm able to rotate between the different charities so that one will always show at the checkout page. I'm going to talk more about this later, but I just wanted to highlight where this is on your dashboard so that you're able to enable this feature later on. I'm going to come back into here so I can show you what the dashboard looks like. So you just saw me add the Save the Cats charity, and I invited Bob to accept that invite because he's in charge of that charity. So he received an invite in the mail, in his email, and it linked him to set up and claim this charity partner dashboard. So this is separate than your race dashboard. It's just for the charity to see. And then this is the functionality that they get to do with this dashboard. So they are able to set up a payment account to receive the direct payments for all the donations that are made to the charity. And the system is really smart, so it knows that if I sign up for your race and pay $20 for the 5K and I make a $5 donation, the $20 gets paid to the race's payment account, and the $5 will get paid to the charity I chose to donate to. This is also really powerful because we allow charity partners to enable the Facebook fundraising connection. So if your race has multiple charity partners, each of them can do Facebook fundraising for their fundraisers. This dashboard also lets your charities view different reports. This is really nice because it's easy for them to view the donations, their fundraisers, and our system, like we do in races, we make it very simple to export any information that you want out of the system. And like I said, they can edit the description that shows in your race website. They can update their confirmation email. The only note I wanted to mention is that the fundraising settings that you set up for your race are going to apply to all the charity partners that are attached to your race. So if you have fundraising goals, automated rewards, it's going to apply to every charity partner. Okay, so let's talk about how to get more donations. Okay, so the first step is really simple, but it's adding a description to your donation page or to your charity partners. A lot of nonprofits skip this step, and we've actually made it required in the new donation and fundraising setup. But we think that having a really clear description that says how the money is going to be used, like linking it to a particular project, can be really powerful. It's a lot more meaningful if you understand where your money is going and how it's being used, instead of just having a blank page asking for money. The next step is adding donation levels. We like races using these donation levels because it's just a quick click to auto-populate that, that donation amount. I think it's also nice because sometimes people don't know what to donate. So if you just give them a blank box to type a number into, it can be a bit overwhelming to them. We're going to be talking about this more in next week's webinar that Johanna and I are going to be doing on a race trends report. But we see donors like donating a wide range of amounts. So a lot of them will donate smaller amounts. So you want to include donation levels for like $10, $25, but the total value of donations, like a significant portion of it does come from big donations. So don't be afraid to include amounts like $250 or $500. Ask for a range of different levels. You can just include the amounts for your donation levels. You don't have to have a heading, but we like being creative with the headings. You can say what that money is going to go towards. For this, the Save the Whale 5K, I have little donation levels that are save a fish, save a whale, save the ocean. Next is customize your donation confirmation email. So again, there's a lot of details on this page. We're going to share these slides after the presentation. But there is a donation confirmation email that automatically goes out from the system when somebody makes a donation. And you should customize that email to add first your own custom thank you message, make it unique, and include details about your organization and how that donation is going to be used. The next part is you need to add your tax ID number and your address so that your donors can use that email as a tax deductible receipt. And the third part that I wanted to mention is if you have a donation matching program, you can include links and information about that in your confirmation email. A lot of companies actually do have a gift matching program. people don't know about them, but you reminding them about that is always good. Just as an aside about corporate matching gifts, currently RunSignUp has an integration with HEP data. So you're able to add your API key and enable corporate matching within the donation path. In March, April timeline, we're going to be starting an integration with Double the Donation. That seems to be one of the matching gifts programs that more and more nonprofits are using today. So you have an option now, you'll have more options in the future, and regardless of whether you use one of those, you can always include that text and content in your donation confirmation email. The fourth part is what I just showed you on that charity setup page, but you can add a donation to checkout. So the way to think about this is like the little checkbox that you see when you go to the grocery store that says, do you want to round up? For RunSignUp, we have a full dollar amount. So we see nonprofits using anywhere from like $1 to $10 on this donation checkout page. It's only going to show for your non-donor. So if I make a donation when I sign up, it's not going to double ask me for donations. It's only going to ask people who didn't make a donation the first time. And on average, we see about 12% of participants opt in to this extra donation. And then if you do have multiple charities, you can still use this. And then you just click randomize charities, and it will randomize which charity is shown on the checkout page. Another great way to grow donations is to offer donation discounts. If you want to set this up, you'll go to the donation setup page and click on the tile that says donation discounts. And what you can do is you can set a donation amount that guarantees a discount. So in this example, the virtual 5K, if I make a $100 donation, I'm going to get a $50 discount on my registration fee. And you'll see in the registration cart that I have a line item here for my donation, and then I have a discount amount for making that donation. And so the thing I would advise if you want to use donation discounts is that you want to advertise this up front. You want to be really clear to your participants that if they make a donation, they will get a discount on their registration fee. And you can do this with content on your race website. You can add those event highlight banners on the event tiles to advertise what the donation amount is and what the discount amount is. So this can be a really powerful way to get more donations. Another recommendation that we have for growing donations are donor-covered fees. So this is where your nonprofit covers the processing fee for donations and or registrations, but you give your supporters the option to cover the fees. RunSignUp is a free platform. We only charge money when somebody makes a transaction. So if somebody makes a donation, we charge a flat 4% processing fee for that. And then our registration processing fee types vary based on the transaction amount. So other than that, you don't have any other costs to use RunSignUp. You know, you have the free website, you have the free Facebook fundraising, you have the free domains, you get all of that just for the processing fees. If you want to use RunSignUp completely for free and not pay a single thing, you can pass the fees on to your participants and to your donors. But this is kind of a nice middle ground. I see a lot of nonprofits who are hesitant to just pass on all of the fees to their supporters. And this provides a good balance because it allows your supporters to make that choice to cover the processing fee rather than being forced to. On the setup page, you're able to create your own custom prompt. So that make your support go further by covering the processing fees. You can create your own language around that. The other thing I recommend is it's always good to say thank you beyond that automated confirmation thank you email that goes out. In RunSignUp, you can set up donation summary emails, and you can set them up for large donations. So some nonprofits on our platform will set up a daily email that goes to the head of the nonprofit for any donation that's over, let's say, $500. And that person will receive an email with, the list of donors and their contact information who donated over $500, and then the nonprofit can call each of them to individually thank them. And then don't be afraid to ask for donations. Ask for it in the confirmation email. If you have incomplete registration emails set up, ask people to donate and share stories about your successful fundraisers and your beneficiaries. It's always good to be communicating, sharing what your donations are going to support. Incentivize and engage fundraisers. So the first tip is to set up default fundraising messaging. So that is the messaging that pre-populates my page when I'm becoming a fundraiser in the registration path. It makes it simple and fast for fundraisers to set up their pages, but still gives them the flexibility to, update the default message to create their own. The second tip is to allow team fundraising. Team fundraising is really simple to set up, and it allows people to, create pages that roll up each of the individuals' fundraising totals into a team total. And you can really emphasize the team fundraising aspect of your event by offering prizes for top team fundraisers. We have a lot of flexibility in terms of the control that you can give to your team captains in terms of like how they can view their roster, how they can help their different team members, and of course, just putting information out there in emails, on your website, in emails to team fundraising captains about tips and ideas for how they can encourage their teams to raise more is always going to be helpful. A really powerful way to incentivize your fundraisers are automated fundraiser refunds. I talked about this a bit already, but this is where you can set a fundraising goal at which your supporters will receive a refund for their registration fee once they reach that goal. So if I am fundraising for the half marathon and I fundraise $500, I'm going to get $50 of my registration fee refunded to me. As a reminder, nobody can be refunded more than what they originally paid, so that registration balance will never go below zero. Another fun thing to add are custom milestones and badges. I took a screenshot of a race that created some custom Star Wars badges. This is also set up under fundraiser rewards. You can add different levels where fundraisers will have a little highlight featured on their page for reaching a certain fundraising threshold. And you can also add badges that are associated with those different milestones. Just as a recommendation, I use the platform Canva, just canva.com, to create a lot of graphics, and that's a great place where you can go to create custom badges. It's a free platform. You don't have to pay for a subscription. So it's really nice to get, something that is related to the theme of your event and looks really nice. Another tip is to customize the fundraising confirmation email. When you go into the customizations and display settings on your individual fundraising page, you're going to have links to all the different notifications that go out from the system, including when a fundraiser is created. And this is an opportunity for you to add your own content about your mission, your own tips and tricks for your fundraisers, just so you continue to communicate with them after they become fundraisers. Another tip is to use fundraiser email templates on RunSignUp. So you can allow fundraisers to send emails directly from RunSignUp to their contacts. These emails can be created for donation requests, for joining my team requests, for donation thank you letters. It's easy for fundraisers to use, and it's another way for you to customize your brand. So this is just a sample of how to set up a template, but this is a sample template for a donation request, and you can add content into here. Again, your fundraisers are going to be able to add their own content, but it's always nice to give people a good starting place. Another recommendation is to continue to communicate with your fundraisers throughout the fundraising journey. One of the really powerful ways you can do this is by setting up automated registration follow-up emails. These can be set up through email marketing, and in follow-up content that we give you, you'll have links to more specific how-to guides and step-by-step guides on how to set this up. But basically, this is like setting up a drip campaign. And you'll see here is a little timeline example of the type of content that you can include. So you can set an email to send 2 days after somebody signs up and becomes a fundraiser. And you'll see here on the call out that I have this little email placement holder. By including this, it's going to pull in that individual's unique fundraising page URL. That makes it really easy for them to continue to share that page. So you're able to set it up after a set number of days after somebody signs up for a race. And then you can also schedule automated emails to go out on set dates. So if you want to remind all of your fundraisers a week before the race that they have 1 week left to reach their goals, you're able to send those emails out. Another helpful tip for all races, not just fundraising races, is to add an FAQ page and a fundraising tips page to your website. You can add custom sections and then edit the custom sections to show as different menu items. And this screenshot that I have here, I like this one because the FAQ section actually just links to RunSignup's support article. So one of the reasons that participants like using RunSignup to sign up and become a fundraiser is that they have a lot of control. Based on the parameters that your race sets, your participants can go in and update their shirt size and update their fundraising page. And we make it really simple for you to create an FAQ page that's useful and actionable. And yeah, I just recommend having that. And then you can expand on that by having a page just for tips on how to raise more money. So speaking of raising more money, Facebook fundraising is the best way to do that. So the integration with Facebook fundraising has been having a really big impact on our events. Actually, I'll just show you how this works. I'm going to join a team. So I'm just going to go through the registration path for Save the Whales. I'm not going to pay for it because I'm just putting in a coupon here. But I'm going to complete my registration for this event. And when I finish, it pops up with the option for me to create my fundraiser on Facebook. If I click this, my fundraiser is now connected to Facebook. So that worked automatically because I'm already logged into Facebook on my computer. If I weren't, it would prompt me to log into my Facebook page. But if I go to my Facebook, it's going to show my fundraiser, and it's going to show that same goal that I have on my RunSignup page on my Facebook page. The reason that Facebook is really nice is we make Facebook makes it very simple to make a donation. So if I make a donation here, it's a real donation, $5. I'm going to donate. And then Facebook really emphasizes the sharing aspect of these fundraising pages, so I can share with friends, I can invite people to like my page, prompting me to invite Bob and Jordan. But it shows immediately here that I've raised $5. And then if I go onto my fundraising page here, it's going to show that same $5 coming from a Facebook donation. So that's just kind of a quick demo of how the integration works. But to go back to my slides, it's having a really big impact on fundraising. So people that have connected fundraisers on average on RunSignup raise $490 more and get more than 9 donations than unconnected fundraisers. We also found that 56% of all connected fundraisers reach their personal fundraising goal compared to just 25.7% of unconnected fundraisers. And the average amount that's raised on Facebook for connected fundraisers is $210. So the people who are going to create connected Facebook fundraisers are typically going to be your more motivated and engaged fundraisers. And the way that I view Facebook fundraising is it's the best tool that you can give to your fundraisers to make them successful. Facebook saves you time. It saves your fundraisers time because a lot of people don't want to send an email asking for a donation, and they don't want to make a phone call, and they don't want to have a face-to-face conversation asking for money. Facebook takes away that social pressure and that need to have a conversation by creating these automatic notifications that, Andrew Burke is raising money for Semper Fi Fund. It's really simple and quick way for your fundraisers to ask for money without having to do anything. It also makes it simple for donors. While I know that a lot of nonprofits complain about Facebook donations being anonymous, a lot of donors actually prefer that because I may want to support Andrew Burke because he cares about a cause, but maybe I don't necessarily want to be on that cause's email list. This also saves time for you because the RunSignup integration makes it really simple to pull reports on Facebook fundraising, and I'll show you that shortly. And the most powerful thing about it is that it saves you money. So RunSignup's standard processing fee is 4%. And we find that when you do the opt-in donor covered processing fees with the Facebook fundraising integration, that 4% can go as low as just 0.4%. So the last part is reporting. RunSignup has a lot of reports built into the race dashboard. So the first report is your donations report. Again, I have the little arrows where you can find the report from your dashboard. At the top of the page, you can click the search button and it's going to allow you to filter that donation report based on the date the donation was made, the amount of the donation, and additional fields. You can also click the Actions button, which will give you a drop down of different custom exports and the ability to generate new reports. The one report that I really recommend looking at if you've been on RunSignup for a couple of years is the year-over-year summary. It gives you a really nice overview of how much you've raised over the past years. The next part is a summary. It breaks down the amounts of your donations, where they're coming from. It just gives you some quick charts. And then below that, you have a list of all of your donations. You're able to export that donation report in any format. We make it very easy. And we also make it simple on that donation report for you to search for any donation and update it. So you can edit, void, or refund a donation. If you click edit, the fields that you're able to edit are the on behalf of attribution settings. And you can also update the fundraiser that the donation is attached to. And then the other field we have are notes. This is useful for just your internal team purposes. And the fundraiser report, you're able to filter by a couple of different searches. So you can filter to show just teams or just individuals or both. If you have multiple charities, you can filter by charity, and we also make it simple for you to pull up a single fundraiser. When you look at a fundraiser, you're able to view all the donations made to that fundraiser. You can also update a fundraiser's page. That's useful for customer service. If somebody calls in asking for help, you can just do stuff for them. It's simple to do. The other thing with fundraising reports is you have a report generator. So you can create different types of reports and include different fields like team size, the amount of donations. And this gives you a lot of flexibility to create any custom report that you need on your fundraisers. Next, we have a lot of Facebook fundraiser reports. So the first image here is the splash page overview, and that just gives you a quick view of, how much have my fundraisers raised in donations and how much comes from Facebook and how much has been on RunSignup, and same with the number of donations. And then this shows how many of your fundraisers have connected Facebook fundraisers. There are also reports for Facebook fundraiser donations and your enabled fundraisers. The nice thing about this is that we pull in the Facebook donation ID. So if you wanted to reconcile your Facebook payment reports with RunSignup reports, this makes it very simple to do. You have that unique donation ID field. Finally, this is just a reminder that the participant report also lets you see all of your fundraising and donation data. And this can be really powerful because if you have, you want to view all the information about your participant in one place, you can click report options on the participant report. You can customize your view, and you can choose to show any of these donation and fundraising fields. And this is really helpful if you just want a giant report that you can view anytime. I'll also mention here, you can save these reports. So if you create a custom view and you want anyone on your team to be able to pull it, create saved reports for that. So yeah, there's a lot of options and flexibility around reporting on RunSignup for donations and fundraising. So the most important thing to know is you can always view the information that you need to view. We make it simple to do that, and we also make it really simple to export that information out of the platform. So that concludes my very long webinar on all of our new and updated donation and fundraising features on RunSignup. It's really exciting to share this because we see more and more events coming over to RunSignup because they're looking for an all-in-one solution that helps them to raise more and save time. So I am going to be sending out a follow-up email and posting follow-up content and blogs tomorrow. But for now, if you have any questions you would like to ask, you can type them into the questions module in GoToWebinar, and Johanna is going to ask any questions that you have.
So we have a pretty good number of questions that have already come through, and as noted, it was a pretty detailed webinar. So if we don't get to every question on the webinar today, we do have them recorded, and we will also follow up with you later about your questions. To get started with, is it possible to add offline donations to a fundraiser's total?
Yes. So we make it really easy to import manual donations. I'm just going to show this really quick because I think it's something that a lot of races have to do. So if you come to donations and you click manual donations, you can add a single donation or you can import a whole CSV. The interesting thing about adding a manual donation is that you can associate it with a fundraiser. So that makes it simple to keep fundraisers totals up to date, even if you're getting donations offline from them, like via a check or something.
So we set up our event last year. Are all of the new updates for fundraising automatically available to us?
Yeah, so RunSignup does a lot of development. So last year we did more than 1,500 software releases, and when a release happens, you don't know it. It happens between the clicks and nothing ever breaks. Knock on wood. We've had 4 years of uptime, so that's a pretty good track record. But yeah, basically when a change is made, it's going to happen in your dashboard. So every dashboard has these separate donation and fundraising tabs. In terms of new updates like the Facebook fundraising integration, you have to go in and request it, but everyone can go to the Facebook fundraisers tab, click setup, and submit your page for approval.
How much does it cost to use a Facebook fundraiser integration, and is there a charge for the donations? Is there a RunSignup charge for the donations process on Facebook?
There is no charge to use the Facebook fundraiser integration. RunSignup makes it free, so any nonprofit that meets the requirements, which are to have a nonprofit page on Facebook that is approved for Facebook payments, is able to use the free integration. All donations that are made on Facebook are free. It's one of the things that Facebook gets right. So when you make a donation on Facebook, like that $5 donation I made on my page, there is no processing fee that your nonprofit has to pay. That full $5 gets paid directly to you. On RunSignup's side, we pull over that data, but we don't charge anything for donations that happen on Facebook, which is why your overall processing fee rate, your effective processing fee rate for donations on RunSignup can be lowered significantly by this Facebook fundraiser option.
Sticking with Facebook, how long does it typically take for the Facebook integration application to be approved if you already have a nonprofit approved page?
So if you have a nonprofit page and it's already approved for Facebook payments, the turnaround can be anywhere from like a couple of days to 2 weeks. At this point, the Facebook fundraising integration is still manual. So the process that happens is basically you submit a request. It goes through me. Actually, I'm the one that's approving and rejecting things. And then for nonprofits that have Facebook payments, I forward that to the Facebook fundraiser team, and they have to manually whitelist and approve each nonprofit for access to the API. And because there's all this like human stuff involved, you know, both on our end and on the Facebook end, there is a bit of a delay, so it's not an automated application. So if you want to turn on the integration, do it now. The one thing I'll mention is that if you enable it partway through your event, people who haven't turned on the Facebook fundraiser integration are able to do so after the fact. So they can just log into their Facebook fundraising or to their RunSignup fundraising pages and click create your fundraiser on Facebook. So even if you're turning it on mid-registration, you can still have a pretty big impact.
So what happens if your race is raising money for your own organization and you don't have a charity partner? Does that impact any, like a separate charity partner? Does that impact any of the features that you have access to?
No, the only thing that I will note is the only feature that you have to do a little bit of a workaround on is the donation page checkout. So if you want to be able to use that little checkbox on the confirmation page for non-donors, you will have to add a charity partner. So I'm just going to call this Save the Whales. And this is raising money for my race. I'm not going to have an invite here. I'm just going to click Add a Charity Partner. And once I do that, I'm able to show the checkout on the confirmation page. It's the only thing that you would have to add a charity partner for, just as a placeholder, but that will enable you to add that checkbox on the confirmation page.
And if you do add a charity partner, but that charity partner never sets up their payment account, what happens to the donations that are made?
So you can control what you would like to happen. So here, when you set this up, you can click the setting, do not accept donations on RunSignup. Oh wait, no, that's not it. Where is this setting? Sorry. Going to here. Okay. Only display charities that have set up direct payment or are not accepting donations through RunSignup. So if you do not set up your payment account, I can choose to hide you. So I just enabled this setting. So only the Rotary Club has direct payment set up at this point. And if I go to the donate page, I'm only going to be able to donate for the Rotary Club. It's not going to show multiple charities because Save the Cats hasn't set up their payment information, which I can see here. So you can control whether or not you want that to happen. If you do allow all the charities to show, even ones that haven't set up direct payment, the donations are going to get paid to your race. You're going to have reporting on your donation reports that show a breakdown for each charity. So you'll be able to do that manual dividing up and writing checks to pay out your individual charity partners.
If you don't pass your processing fees on to the participant, who pays those fees then, the race or the charity partner?
I believe it's the race, but I have to confirm that. I don't remember off the top of my head. Or maybe it's a charity.
What,
I'm not sure. I have to confirm that. So I'll include that in the follow-up content.
what's the difference between RunSignUp and GiveSignup?
So RunSignUp and GiveSignup are basically the same. So GiveSignup was launched in July, and we have a lot of nonprofits that use RunSignUp because they like all this functionality around donations and fundraising. So we have over 8,000 nonprofits that use RunSignUp today. And over the years, they've been asking for more of RunSignup's technology and pricing because it's free to use. We have low processing fees for other events that they do to raise money, like charity golf tournaments and year-round donations. And so GiveSignup expands RunSignup's technology to also let nonprofits create ticket events and create donation websites. You can also create a Run Walk or Ride, and if you click Create Run Walk or Ride, that's going to bring you into the same race wizard, the same thing as RunSignUp. The other thing to note is that the Save the Whales run, if I come here, I can change my URL to givesignup.org. It's the same thing. So those are interchangeable for you. So GiveSignup has additional features for nonprofits that only nonprofits can use. But in terms of the RunSignUp, Run Walk Ride platform, they're interchangeable. So you can choose to use the RunSignUp URL or the GiveSignup URL, or you can elevate your brand and add a free custom subdomain or domain.
I think we're going to do one more question now. Like I said, we had a good number of questions, so if we didn't get to yours, please know we'll follow up with you later. But the last one for right now is just, if someone is becoming a fundraiser during registration, do they get to choose which charity partner they want to fundraise for?
Yes. You can require, if you have multiple charities, you can require that your fundraisers choose a charity to fundraise for. So they will have to pick that. Additionally, when you have charity partners, they're all going to get their unique charity pages that have a join or like fundraise for this team. So they'll be able to share that unique link with their supporters. They can put it on their website. They can distribute the charity page and RunSignUp with that unique button, and that will pre-select that charity partner. So that just makes it a little bit simpler. Like, you don't have to choose the charity. It's already chosen for you because you decided to sign up through their unique link.
Cool. All right. Well, if we did not answer your question, then we will send you out an email later, and we'll also have follow-up content coming out tomorrow. Thanks, Allison.
Yeah. Thanks for attending. We're really excited to work with our nonprofit customers and continue to roll out these great features that help you raise more and save time. Thanks.